Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach. And I'm going to give you two options from which to choose to be consistent. The first option is to be consistent to achieve a lot of money, to become a millionaire, or consistent to achieve your life purpose. Well, the funny thing about the choice of these two options is that if you choose to pursue your life purpose, your bliss, your talents while you were placed on this earth, you will find that the money that you go after directly will come to you. So by following your bliss and following your purpose, you'll find that the money will come that you thought that you would be needing to do to pursue directly. It doesn't work the other way around. Pursuing only money does not necessarily fulfill you in terms of your life purpose. And I'm going to take a path of talking about different things in this installment. First of all, I want to dispel the notion that becoming a millionaire is all that important, because we're programmed to believe, especially in Western society, that to make it as a millionaire, especially if you're a man, you have really made it. You have become a success. But there's a lot of to do about becoming a millionaire that's more than it really is. There was a time that I asked myself, years ago, I said, what would it be like if I had no worries about money, had all the time, the free time that I would want, and I had perfect health? What would this be like? And I came to the conclusion this would be like perfect prosperity and wealth. Well, the interesting thing is that when I retired and I came here to live in Colombia, I discovered that with my 3 pensions that I earned through my profession as a psychologist, as a teacher, and through Social Security, I was able to retire over here and have more than enough money that I had no money worries, that I had all the free time that I wanted, and perfect health. Let me say something is that the whole idea of the $1 million mark is just a fiction in the mind of in the minds of those of us who want to be programmed with the idea that it is absolutely necessary to become a millionaire to be successful. It's a matter of perspective. When I came over here to Colombia, I saw that the cost of living is a third of what it is in the United States. Over here, I am wealthy. Over here, I have the millionaire experience with much less money than I thought I would need. Let me see if I can explain this to you. Okay, with the 3 pensions that I have, I earn in US dollars $3,000. Living in California, in the United States, this is nothing. This is almost like poverty level, because my rent when I was living in the United States was like $2,500 plus all the other expenses I had, car notes and utilities, total way more than that. Well, at the time I was living in the United States as a social worker, I was making $8,000 a month. But upon retirement, my retirement money reduced to $3,000. Now, this was the surprise that I got. When I came to Colombia, I realized that the cost of living was so much less until I was able to get the millionaire experience with much less money. Let me see if I can explain this to you. I have this written down. I don't have it memorized, so I'm going to have to look at it. Here in Colombia, the average worker makes the equivalent of $326 a month. That is, a bank cashier makes $326 a month. A civil engineer makes $688 a month. A lawyer, the average lawyer makes around $650 or $700 a month. A teacher makes around $486 a month. Police, $390. Firemen, $390 a month. A doctor is considered wealthy if he's making $1,000 a month. So you can get an idea of what happened when I came here, and I have an income of $3,000. This is more than the highest paid neurosurgeon. I am considered wealthy here in Colombia. And I live in the ritziest part of the city, in the finest condominium available. And what do I pay for my condominium? They just raised it. It's $600 a month. And that is considered a very high rent in Colombia. And look at where I'm living. Look at how I live. Look at the view that I have here of the city. So I realized when I came here, my God, I'm wealthy here. I'm considered wealthy here in Colombia with money that I could not be considered wealthy in the United States. So everything is a matter of perspective. If you think about it, the minimum wage worker of 2025, the income that he or she makes now in the year 1905 would be a lot of money. So it's all a matter of perspective. Now, what happens is that I am able to experience that dream that I had years ago. What would it be like to have no money worries, free time, and perfect health? Excellent physical condition. I go to the gym every day, and I have absolute, complete experience of what it is to be wealthy and to be a millionaire. And I am single. After 3 marriages, I got the point, and I have learned that it is better to be single than to have the emotional drama of a wife or a live-in woman. Now, this has been my experience, and if you are a romantic and feel that you need to get married and you feel that you need to be in a relationship, that's fine. But I have learned to enjoy my aloneness because I feel complete. I have peace. I don't have problems. And this is what I have found to be my experience in living alone and being able to make my own choices and to be authentic. I can wake up at any time that I want. I can go to sleep at any time that I want. I can cook what I want, watch the TV shows that I want. I don't have to negotiate how to decorate the apartment. I don't have to explain where I want to go if I want to walk around the block. I have total freedom and authenticity without having a spouse or a live-in lover to dictate what I need or need not to do. I don't have to deal with their emotional baggage. And this I have found to be liberating at this point. You know, in fact, some of the smartest and most successful people in the world get married, which I don't understand. There's a 50% divorce rate, and some of the wealthiest people in the world still, and the smartest people, quote unquote, still decide to get married. Marriage is not set in favor of any successful and wealthy man. Well, I wrote it down here. Let me see what it is. Jeff Bezos, the the creator of Amazon, is worth $243 billion. A billion is 1,000 million, in case you don't know. And he was married and he divorced, which fell into the 50% category of 50% will get divorced and 50% will stay. And he paid his wife, $160 billion he paid out to his wife. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know any woman that's worth $160 billion. Okay, that's just me. That's just me. And you have other super wealthy people like Michael Jordan, who's worth $3.5 billion, also gets married. He's 62. Why would anybody in their 60s get married? I don't know, but that's just me. And I was reading on social media where he's having problems with his wife, or his wife doesn't want to sleep with him because of his schedule, which he could have easily exercised freely as a single person, but now he decided to bring a woman into his life who's going to interrupt with his normal routines. Well, she's upset because he gets up every morning at 4 to jog and to exercise. This interrupts her sleep. Then late at night, he goes and plays golf until 1 in the morning and comes home and interrupts her sleep again. And then he snores all the time, and so she can't really get a good night's sleep because of that. So now she sleeps in another room. This is a red flag. This is not a good sign. I can kind of see in a few years coming up where you're going to be reading Michael Jordan paid out X billion dollars to his wife, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but I digress. But the idea is that you don't need $1 million to have $1 million experience. It is a matter of earning enough money to cover all of your bills and then have some surplus over to do things that you would enjoy doing. And this can be achieved in many different ways. You don't have to be super wealthy to do this. There are many business opportunities online and offline that can allow you to do it. But as long as you're pursuing your purpose, you're going to be consistent and you're going to achieve that particular goal. See, the thing is that when people pursue money over purpose, they don't stay with it long enough. I remember a lady I was counseling years ago on achieving success when I used to give these seminars in the United States. And she made a statement. She said, I have been trying to be successful and find a way to be successful for over 40 years, and I haven't discovered it yet. Well, as I was listening to her complaining, I heard the operative word. The operative word was, I have been trying to find something to make me successful. And this idea of trying indicated to me that she was trying one thing when it didn't work out because she didn't have that much of a commitment to it. It wasn't something that was a life purpose. It was just something that she wanted to do to make money. The first sign of an obstacle, she'd throw her hands up and say, nah, this doesn't work, and then she'd try something else. As with everything that requires effort, she would go across the path of this new endeavor, come across an obstacle, throw up her hands, nah, this doesn't work, and then she'd try something else. So she would go from one thing to the next, never staying with anything long enough to see it to fruition because she wasn't committed to anything. It didn't have any deep meaning to her. It was just for money. And it's kind of what I like to call the hummingbird syndrome. Have you ever seen a hummingbird? How when a hummingbird is in a garden, it goes from flower to flower, it tastes the nectar of one flower, then it goes to another flower, tastes that nectar, then goes to another flower. Many people are like that when they try to become successful and pursue money for the sake of money and not for the sake of purpose. So this is the problem that we have when we don't choose purpose over just money, because purpose will keep you consistent, but pursuing just the money will not, because it doesn't fulfill something that's much deeper inside of you. Now, there is another example that I remember of a lady who said that she wanted to start a business. She said, I really want to start a business. And I kind of sensed that in the back of her mind, she wanted to start a business just for the purpose of money. She didn't really want to start a business to realize her life purpose. It was just any kind of business that would make money. So what she began to do was to say, well, I want to start a business, but I'm not ready yet because I need to get more information. I need to get a degree in business. And I said, well, if you really want to start a business, you don't need to get a degree in business. Many people start businesses and don't have a college degree at all. She says, no, but I think that if I got information on some of the concepts of business, I'd be much more successful. So she went 4 years, got her business administration degree, and it's kind of funny how I kept in touch with her. And then so after she called me and said, I got my degree. I said, great. So when are you going to start your business? She said, well, I'm not quite ready yet, because I think that if I get a master's in business administration, I'd really, really be ready to do this. And I said, okay, but I don't really think it's necessary. She says, no, but I'm going to do it. So she took 2 years and got her master's in business administration. She got in touch with me. I congratulated her, and I said, okay, so now you're going to get started? She says, no, I think that after I get maybe a PhD in this, that I would really, truly understand business, and I would really be successful. And I said, well, I really don't think this is necessary. So she went and she got a PhD in business administration. Okay. Then she called me and said, I got my doctorate. And I said, well, I'm sure you've already started your business. She says, well, no, there's these seminars that I need to take. And after I take these seminars, I really think that I'm going to be ready. And then at that point, we all know where this is going. This lady never began her business. She began to teach business on the college level. So she was still into the swimming in the world of concepts, but she never took action because she didn't have the courage to persist, because it was not that important to her. The money itself did not give her the motivation to persist and to have the courage to really take a chance and fail and pick herself up and fail and pick herself up, because it wasn't a life purpose mission. It wasn't something she was willing to sacrifice and suffer for. So in essence, what I am saying is that when it comes to your choice of consistency, do not make it on the basis of I want to be consistent to make money. This is not how it works. I've been on this earth long enough, and I've made a lot of money to be able to tell you that it's not about the money. It's about the personal satisfaction, and it is about realizing your talents and who you are and who you are meant to be, and who you're and what you're meant to do here on this earth. Until and unless you learn and understand that, you're going to miss the point. You will miss the point as to why you are here. So when it comes to making your choice to be consistent, keep this in mind. Choose consistency to realize your life purpose, and the money will follow. This is my message to you. So, as I always like to say before I go, stay consistent and be successful. Okay, I hope you really got the message. The essence of this particular installment is that in choosing consistency, the highest form of consistency is choosing to pursue and realize your life purpose, and the money will follow. That is how it works. So, before we go, I would like to invite you to become a member of the Prosper Consistency Success membership site, where you will become part of a family of consistent-minded people, where we help each other to remain consistent until we achieve our goals. One of the many benefits of being a member is that an accountability partner will be assigned to you to help you stay focused and consistent until you achieve your goal, as well as you will be assigned to another member as their accountability partner to help them stay focused until they achieve their goal. Additionally, there will be live coaching calls where you can call in and get answers to your many questions and queries according to how you can maintain your consistency and achieve your goal. We also have occasional guest speakers who come in and offer and give us fresh new ideas on success and goal orientation. So, without further ado, I would invite you to go to www.consistencysuccesscoach.com, and you will be glad that you did. Also, if you really enjoy these videos, help me extend my reach. Smash that like button and give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to get regular notification of when I come out with a new video on consistency, just hit the subscribe button and you will be notified right away. So, in parting, as you know, I will always say to you, stay consistent and be successful.